Hey friends, today we are going to start the journey to emotional health and emotional well-being. And I want to share with you that I have been studying this for 10 or 15 years because years ago I was not emotionally healthy. In fact, very emotionally unhealthy. And so what I'm sharing with you are things I have worked out within my own being because I cannot give to you what I do not have within myself. That's fake. And I hate fake. So these things I'm going to be sharing with you, they live in me. They are one with me. I have worked on them and put them deep within me to find myself in a place of being emotionally healthy. So today we're just going to start with define emotional health. So let me share a few things with you. Emotional health is a state of well-being in which an individual, one, realizes his or her own abilities. So let's talk 1 second about that. We know ourselves. We have to come to know ourselves and be true to ourselves. And we're going to spend time talking about this because I did not know myself till the last 10 years of my life. And it is very important. And that is really honestly the first step to emotional health is owning up to yourself, being responsible for yourself, and knowing yourself, being true to yourself. Number two, an emotionally healthy person can cope with the normal stresses of life. Now, this is a big deal because a lot of times we in emotional unhealth would look at people and think, well, they just must not have any problems. But that's not true. Problems exist in everyone's life. There are difficulties in everyone's life. But an emotionally healthy person has learned how to cope with things when things are not going well and to keep themselves in a state of well-being. We're going to talk about this also. Number three, they can work productively and is able to make a contribution to their community. This is very important because this is what we're called to do, is to be able to give away to others around us. And an emotionally healthy person is stable within their own being. They love themselves, therefore they're not needy, and they can actually give away to others. Emotional health is about how we think and feel. So it's about our thought processes, but also the feelings of the heart. And they begin to line up and join with each other. And that is emotional health. It's about a sense of well-being. It's about our ability to cope, like I said. It's how we acknowledge our own emotions as well as the emotions of the people around us, because other people's emotions are a reality and they can affect us. But when we're emotionally healthy, we learn how to deal with other people's emotions, not be responsible for their emotions, but responsible for my own emotions. And it also does not mean that you're exactly happy all the time. You can have peace within, you can be in a state of well-being, but there are difficulties and circumstances of life that may not just seem happy hunky-dory, but I can still be emotionally healthy in the midst of all this. And this is kind of our journey that we're going to be on. So let me ask you this question. What are some of your coping techniques? Have you ever thought of that? I had never thought of these things. No one had taught me this. I had not been introduced to any of it. I started my own research 15 years ago, and then I have learned a ton in the last 2 years from my dearest friends, Dr. Yana Sanders and Darla Fields, and I want to give a lot of honor to them because of what I have learned from them. But have you ever even thought about that? What are your coping techniques? Do you just lash out or do you lock it all down? Neither one of those are healthy. So we're going to learn about this. And awareness is one of your most important factors. Are you even aware of what's going on within you? And this is very important, and we're going to talk about this. Everyone copes in some way. The question is your coping technique helpful? Is it harmful? Is it useful or is it useless? And only you can identify that within yourself. So there are more than one coping techniques, and I'm going to teach you quite a few of them. And this is a like an emotional toolkit that you can have in a toolkit that you carry around within your being all the time, so that when things happen, you know what to do and how to deal with things, so that actually you have a plan for the next time you feel your emotions just starting to go off the chart. We're going to talk about all this. So I kind of want to leave you with these two last things for today. Number one, your thoughts and your emotions are the house you build, and they are the house that you live in. So this is very important. I can't even express to you how important it is, because no one wants to live an unhappy life. Yet a lot of people do, because they have not known these techniques. They've not known the pathway to healing. And I want to say this, that this pathway of healing, you can do it yourself. And you develop your relationship with God as you do it. There doesn't have to be a middleman once you know some of these things. And so you develop your one-on-one relationship with Him, because He is perfectly emotionally healthy and He helps us. So I want you to begin this week to think about your thoughts and your emotions. And since awareness is very important, you may want to jot some of them down. Like, what do you think within you is healthy? And what do you think within you is unhealthy? And let's start identifying these things. And I want to encourage you, if you would like to me, you can send me a message on Messenger and ask questions, give me comments. What would you like to hear about? And we're going to start this journey together. But I want to leave you with this today, because this is one tool you can put in your tool belt for right now. And this one was so major for me when I learned this, that in one day I made a massive shift, because the light bulb just went on one of these verses. But, we've always been taught 1 Corinthians 13. We've always been taught about it as looking at it with a lens towards others. But what if you turn the lens first to this is God? Because He is love, right? So what is love? So in place of the word love, we can put His name, Jesus, Yeshua, Yahweh. He is patient. He is kind. He is not jealous, boastful, or proud. He is not rude. And then go on with that in 1 Corinthians 13, realizing this is who God is. But now this is your real challenge. You're going to take this passage and you're going to turn it towards yourself. This is very, very, very powerful. So when I read it with myself, I'm putting my name in here. But I want you to put your name in here. And it goes like this. Shara is patient with herself. Shara is kind to herself. Shara is not jealous, boastful, or proud of herself. Now see, this is biblical love, because to love yourself is not arrogance or pride. It's not narcissism. It's biblical love. That I love myself with a holy love and with the love of God. Shara is not rude to herself. I don't talk rude to myself. Shara does not demand her own way and throw fits with herself and get mad at herself. Shara is not irritable with herself. And listen to this one. This one really set me free. Shara keeps no record of wrong against herself. That is powerful, because you know what? God does not. He washed it with the blood. So why am I doing that to myself? It's not healthy. Shara does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. So what this is saying is, I'm not looking at myself, picking myself apart and being glad. Nobody's really glad about what they've got going on wrong. But the thing is, they're not focusing on the good things that Yahweh has put within us. And so begin to look for the things He has put within you. Sharon never gives up on herself. Sharon never loses faith. Shara is hopeful always, and Shara endures through every circumstance. Number one, because God is love to me. And number two, I love myself with his love. So I want to leave that with you this week, and I want to challenge you with that this week. And I'll be back with you next week, and we'll continue on the journey. I love you all, and I pray the richest love of God is shed abroad into your whole heart. See you next week.